Hello, everyone. Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, here with you today. I want to talk about the importance of taking B vitamins during the summer, and in particular, folate. So, this is why I want to talk in general about the Methyl-B formulation because that actually has the biologically active form of folic acid known as methylfolate. Now, the reason why this is an important topic is because generally speaking, most people recognize that during the summer months, when you have more sun exposure to your skin, that this oftentimes is a good way for you to absorb vitamin D. Most of us have heard about this. We certainly know that there is definitely truth to that, but we also know that there's other factors that can impede proper absorption of vitamin D coming from the sun, such as sunscreen. Not that I'm advising you not to use sunscreen, but we do know that sunscreen is actually going to impede proper vitamin D absorption. We know that low magnesium status in the body, for example, also can impact proper vitamin D status. But as a general rule, we know that in the summer, most people are going to have more stable vitamin D levels, less likely to technically be deficient or even insufficient during the summer months. Now, the opposite is true when it comes to folate. What they have found through clinical research, which is really kind of fascinating, and in the Journal of Phytochemistry and Phytobiology, so that's plant based, um, looking at folate levels in human beings in the spring and summer. And what they saw was this sharp decrease in folate status. And it started in the spring and then it got progressively worse throughout the summer. So it's very interesting. It's kind of the opposite effect of what we see with vitamin D, which is why in the winter you always hear people advocating taking vitamin D during the winter months. But in the summer months, people say, oh, you're probably getting enough from the sun. I don't always agree with that, but definitely what we do know is that your B vitamin status, in particular folate, can take a hit during the summer. And the reason why is because the UV radiation actually causes like a photodegradation of folate itself. So if you're not adhering to a Mediterranean diet where you're getting an adequate amount of things like green leafy vegetables, which can provide you a good amount of folate, then you are probably going to fall into that category of insufficient or even deficient levels of folate throughout the spring and summer. Why is that a problem? Well, let's just kind of look at what folate's actually doing in the body. We know it's important when it comes to, both the production of red blood cells and white blood cells. White blood cells for your immune system. So, if you've ever maybe caught a cold or been sick in the summer and you think, how in the world does this happen? Maybe your folate levels were too low, which lowered your immune defenses. Just a thought, it's my theory. We also know that folate is very important when it comes to energy status in the body. And also, very, very important for the production when we're looking at the pathway of our genetic makeup. So we're looking at the DNA and the RNA. Now, this is important when we even look at methylation. So, methylation is the process by which the body can go through these different stages of detoxification. So, methylation reactions in the body are highly reliant on folate. So, if you have inadequate folate levels, you are more likely to have these breakdowns in communications as well as different biochemical pathways in the body, which can impact the way that you're feeling. So it can lower the immune system, it can affect your red blood cell production, all of these different things, even your energy level. Most time people think of B12 as the energy vitamin, but we also know that folate certainly plays a role into this as well. So what do you do? Do you go off and have your folate levels tested? I always say, hey, the more you know, the better off you are. Because you may find that pattern where in the winter, your folate levels looked pretty good. And then come spring, summer, your folate levels start to drop. So this is why I want to talk about that. But how do we get that folate back into the system? So there's many different ways. Obviously, you want to incorporate your green leafy vegetables, so foods certainly matter. But then I always turn to methyl B. And the reason why is because the methyl B is packed with all of those key B vitamins in their biologically active form, meaning that the body is going to absorb them much more efficiently than a standard, say, folic acid, which is going to be synthetic. Methylfolate is that natural form, it's the biologically active form of folate. So having the methyl B, 1 cap a day, is yielding you a good amount of methylfolate, but you're also yielding from that B12 in its active form, so as methylcobalamin. It also has riboflavin, it has B6 in it, and it has trimethylglycine, which is a really cool thing because that helps with our antioxidant defenses. Many times when we think about antioxidants, we solely think about things like vitamin E and vitamin C, but our B vitamins certainly play a role into this as well. So by taking one simple cap of the methyl B, you're going to cover those bases in terms of making sure, number one, that our folate level is not too low in the spring and in the summer, but we're also helping to support red blood cell production, helping to support our cellular DNA production. We are also helping to support energy and our antioxidant ability to fend off free radicals. So definitely check it out. Go to our website, invitehealth.com, look at the methyl B formulation. I will be back with you in a few more days to talk about more wonderful formulations available at InVite Health.